Petrovic here, and let's talk about cognitive behavioral therapy. So, what is cognitive behavioral therapy? In essence, it's my favorite subject in the world. What can we do with cognitive behavioral therapy? So, with cognitive behavioral therapy, we can make a lot of good things for us and for the person or the people around us. Uh, Either we're talking about relationships, either we're talking about um, our relationship to the work, to our attitude toward our work. So with here at Academy Plus, Academy of Wisdom and Success, we are studying all the tools, everything that you need to achieve success in your life. Because in our mind and from everything that we have studied and have seen, we can say and acknowledge that uh, life and success is about wisdom, and we get wisdom through the use of these techniques and all the other techniques that we are teaching. So, if we want to get the good life, if we want to achieve the things that we want to achieve, we should strive toward wisdom. And and if we're talking about achieving wisdom and studying wisdom, the best place to start is with ourselves. So, if we are thinking about growing ourselves as a person, growing, or and and if we are thinking about diminishing our problems and our attitude towards life, because as the saying goes, if we change, everything we do change. So in essence, it is important to see the things that we can change and the things that we cannot change. Some of the things, as the ancient philosophers, Stoic teachers told us, there are things that are in our own control, and there are things that are outside of our control. And then, granted, we have the things that we have some limited amount of control, but these are things for another debate. So, if somebody wants to change his life, how should he or she goes about doing that? I think the first step is to learn all these cognitive behavioral techniques plus all the other techniques. So we have to get wisdom and these cognitive behavioral techniques. So how does that work? In cognitive behavioral therapy, we have many tools. One, in my opinion, one of the best tools are the cognitive biases. Then we have cognitive distortions. So how do we distort reality? So we have something happening to us. By the way, cognitive behavioral therapy came into existence by Aaron Beck, and the pioneers of cognitive behavioral therapy. They used the ancient knowledge and ancient philosophers as a model. So it does not bother us the things that happen to us, but how we see a situation, how we see an event. So the problem is not in the event, the problem is with how we see and perceive this event. And in cognitive behavioral therapy, we use the tools to shine some light onto these subjects and onto these things that are happening to us. So, for example, sometimes it is normal that we become afraid. We become afraid of something that is happening to us. The first thing to acknowledge is that fear is a normal reaction. So it is a mechanism that was used biologically to keep us safe. So if something dangerous happened, then we had fear coming into and essentially making a reaction so that we would get away from that danger. Nowadays there are not so much positions where we have to be as afraid as we should be. So the first step is to look at this thing this situation or event and make an assessment. After we have looked from the prism of black and white thinking or digital thinking 1 or 0, then we can look at from the point of an overgeneralization. So is this that we may lose the job a certainty, or can we usually when we feel bad we tend to use this event as looking as something in general? For example, okay, I may lose the job, and if I lose the job, then I would be a worthless person. If these are our thoughts, then it's normal to feel depressed. It's normal to feel anxious because we are guarding something important, something of value for us. So, okay, we have the event that is happening to us, and then we have to look at this event from the right perspective. So, we have an event, and then we have our thoughts. And in cognitive behavioral therapy, we are teaching that thoughts create our reality. So, the kind of thinking or thoughts is having on ourselves and on our emotions and emotional states is directly correlated with our emotional state. So, if we want to feel good, to feel great maybe, then we have to change the way we think. But you have probably already heard about that. And how can you go about doing that? What is the best mechanism to go about that? So let us take for example that something happened to you and now you are feeling stressed, you're feeling anxious. What can you do? How can you look at the thing and at the event and tell if it is okay to feel afraid and to feel anxious, or is it normal, or is it maybe too much? And so we look at the event, so something stressful happened, and then we have the feeling, for example, I don't know, I may lose the job. Okay, then if you look at the thing, you can probably see that if we're having the thought that we or I can lose our job, then we will probably feel afraid. It's normal, because usually losing the job is not something that that is pleasurable. And then we look, okay, so the thought is I may lose the job, and then we go forward. How much do I believe this thought? Is it 100%? Is it 90%? 80%? Something like that. And after we've done that, we can look how much do we feel bad emotions. So how much do we feel, how much are we feeling anxious? How much are we afraid? And after we've done that, we can go forward and assess the situation. For example, are we thinking in black and white? Is this true? For example, is it certain that we're going to lose the job? Probably not. But if we're looking at a thing that is either or, then we are probably going to be afraid. If we look at the thing that maybe something could happen, but it's not set in stone, then it's different. So the second thing that we have talked about is overgeneralization, and how we usually overgeneralize and use some event to assess everything else in our life. So feeling like of worthlessness and feeling of sadness and everything in between. And the intensity can be big. So moving forward, then we have filtering. Is this something that can we see something good in happening? For example, is this a job that we don't like? Is it a job that we are suffering in it? Is this a job that it's not our calling or something important to us, but it's like just ticking the clock and to survive? It's not a good position to be in. It's always better, as Sullivan said, a calling description. So instead of having a job description, to have a calling description, something that you feel called to do in this life. So maybe we are discarding something positive. Maybe something about losing the job could be beneficial to us. Maybe we are going to feel better in a year's time. So it's nothing that is set in stone. The next thing, because usually when we are depressed, we tend to see life as something that is carved in stone. So this is going to suck, this is going to be very bad, and everything is going to be bad. So, and then we cannot see the light or a light for the future. The next thing um, is so discarding positive, or maybe fortune telling, looking in the future and telling ourselves, okay, this is going to be bad, losing this job will be a catastrophe, will be something very bad. But usually we cannot know for sure. Nothing is sure in life, and losing the job, maybe it's not that bad in the end. Maybe, I don't know, in 1 year time you would see yourself be very happy. Maybe you could find a better job. Maybe you will find something much better in your life. Maybe you can start that business that you were putting off. So a lot of things can happen, and a lot of things you could be very much happier in the future. Then we tend to uh, magnify the things. As I've said, when we're telling losing the job, or the possibility of losing the job is going to suck a lot. So we are telling ourselves that it's going to be bad, very bad. And yes, if you can see, if you can think of it, if we're having that thought, it's normal to feel bad about it. Usually, as I've said, it's not that bad as is seen in the beginning. Then we have, after magnification or catastrophizing, we have a very important part that is called emotional reasoning. That's one of my favorite tool. And what does this say? Essentially, we are telling ourselves, I feel bad, and therefore the thing is bad. We're not saying, okay, I'm seeing I having these thoughts, and if I'm having these thoughts, that then it means that something bad is really happening. But if I'm having that thought, I'm having emotion. What does it mean? It's a great thing, because if it depends on our thinking process, then we can change our thinking process, and when we change our thinking process, then everything else changes in our life. Of course, it's much easier to do with a therapist, with a good therapist or counselor or coach or something like that, who knows how these things are done. But in essence, you can change the way you feel by changing the way you think. And so, you will see, you can always tell yourself, if I change the way I think, then I will change the way I feel. And moving forward, then I have should. Shoulds have to shoulds. So Albert Ellis, who created emotional rational therapy, which was a precursor to cognitive behavioral therapy, said that it's must urbation. So if we're telling ourselves, I must do that, I should do that, I should be this, I should be that, then we're essentially creating pain in our life. And if we're telling ourselves, oh my god, I should keep this job, then it's normal to feel anxiety rising. It's normal to feel anxiety rising if I feel or I think that I should keep this job. It's normal. It's normal. So if I am telling myself, okay, it's not a should, it would be okay to keep this job. I would be okay, even though I'm not sure that I love this job. But if I'm telling myself, okay, it's okay to feel a little bit bad, because it would not be the best thing in the world to lose this job, but if this happen, I can think something else, then we will improve our thoughts and our feelings. Okay, this is a short introduction into cognitive behavior therapy, into what we are doing here in Academy of Wisdom and Success. So we're trying to build the greatest wisdom in the world, the greatest collection of wisdom in the world, and we are doing mainly through cognitive behavior therapy and its core principles, plus everything else that helps humankind in this battle against feeling bad and all these kind of uh, mm, destructive feelings and emotions. So until next time, I'm wishing you all the best. Here, Rok Petrovic, and bye bye.